Good morning everyone. On this video is our research paper presentation. But before we proceed, the researchers would like to express their utmost gratitude and appreciation to those who shared and gave their time and efforts for the completion of this research. This research would not be successful without their support. To Mr. Orlino D. Rabago Jr., our professor in GE7, The Contemporary World, for his support and guidance in this research, to the respondents for their cooperation, support, and suggestions during the conduct of survey, to the parents of the researchers for their help and support, and giving us time to accomplish this research, and especially for their love and care for us. And to God Almighty who guided us every day in our decisions and guidance while conducting this research paper by giving us wisdom and knowledge in accomplishing this research paper. Greetings! We are the Black Group from BN1E who conducted a quantitative study titled Effectiveness of TikTok Influencers for Promoting Products Towards Consumer Purchasing on Online Shopping. The purpose of this study is to determine how well TikTok influencers can promote products to consumers making online purchases. The results of this study will help us determine how effective TikTok influencers are at influencing online shoppers, which will aid us in the future when promoting our products. But before that, let's start our online presentation with a quote: "Whoever said that money can't buy happiness simply didn't know where to go shopping." The abstract of the research paper: an increasing number of users in TikTok application created by Chinese company. User can post anything such as entertaining, educating, and promoting a product or services. People prefer to use TikTok and the reason even a second of video, user can have a knowledge and insights. Businesses uses TikTok application to have a numerous sales. This study was conducted to determine the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting products on consumer purchasing towards online shopping. The study selected a total of 20 respondents ranging between 17 to 25 years old of first-year entrepreneurship student at City College of San Jose del Monte. The sample design, a survey questionnaire, was chosen to collect the data through Google Forms data to collect their responses and to have a good outcome. The researchers used survey questionnaire to fulfill the data needed in the study. The questionnaire is under simple random sampling that focuses on a subset of participants from a population randomly. Consequently, the results show that there is a significant relationship between TikTok influencers and consumer buying decisions, whereas consumers are really satisfied and TikTok influencers' recommendations as its finest that basically met their expectations in a product. The findings and the insight of this study will help the future researchers to collect more data. Now, let us proceed to Chapter 1, the problem and its background. Chapter 1, the problem and its background. This chapter discusses introduction, statement of the problem, conceptual framework, significance of the study, scope and the limitations, and definition of terms. To give us introduction to our study, let's call on Mr. Marcelino.
Thank you, Mr. Maligat. So, for introduction, online shopping in our current generation is in the limelight. Typically, in our current situation, where COVID-19 cases are still increasing, consumers prefer to buy their needs and wants from various online shops. It is embraced by a lot of people nowadays since it is more convenient than buying from physical stores. Social media has a great impact to both influencers and consumers. It only became more famous when the pandemic arose, where people engage into online shops or platforms. This became a stepping stone to a new creativity and productivity that TikTok has. Every person nowadays can purchase anything they want using their own fingertips. The internet and social media platforms made it easier to have access to various products that sell virtually, particularly on TikTok. In fact, a lot of people are enjoying in this app as it can satisfy their needs by simply watching TikTok trends and popular hashtags that contain marketing for products that might catch their attention to buy the specific product that is being promoted by those TikTok influencers. Aguiar, 2019. However, there are instances where consumers do not base their purchases on a TikTok influencer who's promoting a certain product when they are shopping online. We, the researchers, are hoping to find a concrete solution for us to know the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting products and how it influence the consumer's behavior in terms of decision making in buying a specific product that they see in online shops. So now may I call on Ms. Manobag to present the statement of the problem.
As we all know, research came from a problem or a questions. With that, here are the statement of the problem. So we, the researchers, saw that many businesses uses TikTok app to promote their product or services. So in this study, researchers aim to know the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting product on consumer purchasing towards online shopping in first year entrepreneurship students at City College of San Jose del Monte. Specifically, the study aimed to address the following questions. First, what is the profile of the respondents according to sex and age? Followed by how TikTok influencers affect consumer buying behavior in terms of price, quality, and repeat buying. Research will aim to know if the prices are reasonable on its quality and if the consumers are satisfied so that they will buy the product again. And lastly, is there any significant relationship between TikTok influencers and consumer buying decisions? That's our statement of the problem that we will be go that we will be going to discuss and answer later on. So may I call Miss Marcelino to discuss the next part of our discussion.
Thank you, Ms. Manobag. So, for conceptual framework, we have the IPO, or input, process, and output. In input, we put the statement of the problem to determine the general and specific problem of the study. In process, we put the research approach, the type of instrument we will use, and what kind of sampling technique we'll use in conducting a survey. And last is output. We will now determine if this study really has an effect on the consumer or respondents. So, may I call on Mr. Maligat to present the significance of the study?
Thank you, Mr. Marcelino. Significance of the study. It refers to the contribution or contributions and impact of the study on a research field. The significance also signals who benefit from the research findings and how. This research study, which entitled Effectiveness of TikTok Influencers for Promoting Product on Consumer Purchasing Towards Online Shopping, is conducted to benefit the following. First, consumers. This research will be their guidelines to make wise decisions on purchasing online. Second, merchant. This research will help them to improve their strategies in engaging commercials and sales. Third is students. They can use this research as a source or idea that can help them with their research. Fourth, teachers. It will help them to elaborate this kind of research to their students. And lastly, future researchers. The results of the study may be the basis of further studies and can be used as related literature. For the scope and the limitations, let's call on Miss Sangil.
Thank you for that, Mr. Maligat. So now I will going to explain our research scope and the limitations. So this research will cover the status of how influencers affect consumers' buying decisions. A total of 20 students participated in the study. The respondents will cover first-year Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship students of City College of San Jose, Del Monte, and TikTok Shops consumers. The study consists of an online application. So now I will be going to give the next which is the definition of terms, which will be further explained by Mr. Maligat.
Thank you, Ms. Sangil. Definition of terms. The essential concept used in this study have been defined for the sake of clarity. Electric word of mouth, EWOM. Any positive or negative statement made by potential, actual, or former customers about a product or company, which is made available to a multitude of people and institutions via the internet. Influencers, someone who has a reputation of authority or expertise in a particular area and who uses that authority to engage with a large number of social media followers. Repeat buying. A repeat purchase is the purchase by a consumer of a same brand product as both on previous occasions. A repeat purchase is an indicator of a degree of customer loyalty to a brand. Next is ROI, or abbreviation for return on investment. ROI is the money an investor in a business earns for the injection of financial capital. Any return is from the net profit the business make and is a mark of the efficacy of investing capital in the venture. TikTok. TikTok is a social media platform for creating, sharing, and discovering short videos. The app is used by young people as an outlet to express themselves through singing, dancing, comedy, and lip singing, and allows users to create videos and share them across a community. Quality, the standard of something as measured against things or of similar kind, or the degree of excellence of something. Now let us proceed to Chapter 2, Review of Related Literature and Studies. For foreign literature, let's call on Mr. Marcelino.
Thank you, Mr. Maligat. So, for foreign literature, according to Forbes.com, TikTok is a fast rising star on the social media scene, with over 1 billion active users around the globe. In 2021, though its parent company, ByteDance, is based in China, TikTok has around 86.9 million users in the United States, and the app has quickly become an integral part of American culture. This article shows that TikTok platforms are trending or common now uses of everybody. Most of them are likely teenagers. TikTok app is the best example of platforms that teenagers usually trump and they give a lot of time just watching videos in TikTok app. Influencers, entrepreneurs, and small businesses take that opportunity to showcase their product and give value to the market because they think this is the traditional way and convenient way for the users. According to Pamela Bump 2022, it's getting difficult for marketers to ignore the popularity and influence of TikTok. Brands on TikTok are reaching younger audiences, increasing brand awareness, and going viral, all by leveraging the power of short form videos. The top brands on TikTok in year 2021 as of now, while you might expect the NBA to focus more seriously on stats and games, it uses the app to lighten up the branding and make its athletes more relatable. While the videos still promote basketball, they also feed with other funny posts on their feeds. Bomb 2022. And this article shows that a great way to leverage TikTok or to have an asset here is by engaging with the influencers community to have a solid understanding of the platform. They can transform stiff brand messages into fun and creative videos. This type of marketing is particularly effective at opening your content to new audiences and boosting brand awareness. TikTok, for some people, they will call it waste of time, but for others, they will call it essential. According to colormatics.com, they conducted a case study performed by mobile marketers. Bumble increased app installs times 5 and decreased cost per registration by 64%. If you search hashtag Bumble TikTok, you will see they will have successfully gathered hundreds of millions of views. Video content consisting of challenges about conversation starters on the app. Funny Bumble match stories, footage from first time Bumble dates, and relationships that have blossomed because of the app. It shows here that we can know from this list that on TikTok, brands that are embracing the creative and authentic love of the community do really well. And now we'll call on Ms. Panobag to present the foreign studies.
Electronic word of mouth, or EWOM, are sharing experiences when consumers purchase a product. It has been growing since social media became popular. A new digital marketing tool that has emerged today is that social media influencer marketing. Social media influencers are those individuals or who shape consumers' perceptions regarding a brand or a product through photos, videos, and other updates on social media platforms. Slamia and Khan 2020. According to Preberge 2011, social media influencers represent a new type of independent third party endorsers who shape audience attitudes through blogs, tweets, and the use of other social media. They consistently produce and upload images, videos, and other updates pertaining to their area of expertise on their social media accounts and profiles. And the other people follow them for their content if they are interested about the particular subject. So the application creates no harm to anyone but just make a person proactive with something they like. It provides a better reach than any social media application. Ravishankar S and AMP Malhotra 2021. User of TikTok app can create content which can be watched by other people. Also, it is a marketing friendly for businesses to recognize their product. According to Making Science 2022, on TikTok, influencer marketing campaigns frequently produce results that are above expectations. This occurs as a result of the social network's algorithm, which offers users particular clips depending on their interests. So, for instance, a video promoting a makeup may be watched not just by the TikToker, but also by many other users. And may I call Miss Sangin to discuss the next part of our discussion.
Thank you so much for that, Miss Manobag. So now, let me go explain our local literature. So we all know that Philippines quickly divert in digital as pandemic hit the country. As said in the article, through logic, no date, Filipinos rank as the most active users in social media because they are so bored that they choose to surf on the internet. And that is how Filipinos discovered TikTok. TikTok became the standard for online shopping, marketing tools, and collaborations for influencers. Also, according to Inquirer 2022, states that TikTok will do something for Filipino businesses since it is more reliable on social media to have better methods and creativity on how they will attract more customers. As our creators and marketers level up, so must we. In the coming year, marketers can gear up for even more exciting developments from TikTok commendable and our partners rather, head of TikTok regional brand in C, David Gomez 2022. It is really commendable that Filipinos really dominate in social media because of the highest rate of mobile phone users here in the Philippines. Mostly are Gen Z, followed by millennials, It is also said that 93% of the Filipinos were influenced by the TikTok together with the influencer. And also, according to Business Tips, 2021 states that as TikTok became popular, many local and international brands have an interest in this app because they know that they will have big profit here since it has new features and it became an online shop. Marketers have greater analysis on TikTok to have an access to the trends. With the help of hashtag challenge, many businesses use this challenge to have a spot in the FYP or For You page so that many people will have an interest in their business and gain trust in them. So basically, these local literatures that we have analyzed, carefully read, and compiled in order for our research study to have a concrete basis so that it can justify and support our research studies claims. And also, these local literatures that we have gathered simply proves that TikTok application is a great opportunity for making any businesses more well known by masses. Since based on previous literature, TikTok application is perfect to use for digital marketing because we all know that there are lots of users, especially teenagers, that we can consider as the primary audience since they are the ones who usually use TikTok application for entertainment purposes. And with that, they are more likely the ones who can view products that is being advertised in the TikTok application in the daily basis. And in that case as well, that can be used by every marketers out there as an advantage to reach their target audiences and consumers more easily.
Thank you, Miss Sangil. So, local studies. Many people engage in online shopping as pandemic arises globally. According to studies of Castillo et al., no date, Gen Z Filipinos really connects to the people by the use of technology. It ends the communication barriers because of social media. On the other hand, influencers interact with their consumer by the use of social media contents that really influence their consumer. On the consumer's perspective, it is really effective to gain trust to the influencers since they caught their attention in the first place. However, it is really risky to gain trust in e-commerce since there are threats in e-commerce. As TikTok utilizes social media, it is become a market strategy for many companies due to its fast-growing market and engagements. With the help of Gen Z that dominates this platform, it is a big help for the researchers to investigate on how TikTok influenced the consumers. According to Arahuyo et al. 2022, with the use of social media advertising, many consumers attract to purchase their product. In their studies, it is also said that the main intention of the consumer is to attract purchases based on their beliefs. It also states that online advertising became more informative due to its improvement of the high quality of creativeness brought by TikTok. On the other hand, mostly of the consumers really depend their criteria on how they purchase to the influence of the social media and the influencer. According to Aspithia 2021, she states on her dissertation that in 3 years of the release of TikTok, it reaches over 689 million active monthly users, having a spot on ranking of the most downloaded app in 2022. TikTok has AI features that releases a video based on how people like the video they scroll and it brings to FYP or For You page so that people would not miss the contents of the influencers. As TikTok get the spot of being influencer center to Instagram, marketers seek this an opportunity to collaborate with the influencers. As the collaboration happens, there are more consumers attracted to TikTok that find it as their convenient online shop because of coupons they get. So now let's proceed to chapter 3, the methodology. Chapter 3, Methodology. This chapter discusses the research design, sample and sampling technique, research instruments, data gathering procedure, and the statistical treatment of data that were used in this study. To introduce us to the research design, let's us have Ms. Manobag.
So thank you, Mr. Maligat. Let's proceed to research design. to determine and investigate the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting product on consumer purchasing towards online shopping. The researchers conduct a quantitative study and use a correlational approach. It is the best design to use in order to get a precise response to the challenges with the study's policy, aim, and data collection requirements. Williams 2011 describes research technique as a researcher's true practices prior to starting a given research topic. It gathers information to show relationship between two or more variables with a correlational research design. Relationship between variables are examined without any of the variables being under the researcher's direct control or manipulation. A correlation shows how strongly or in what direction two or more variables are related. For quickly acquiring information from real-world context, correlational research is ideal. It assists you in making an external valid genera- generalizations of your findings to situation in everyday life. Researchers that use this strategy would able to evaluate and discover fresh data according to the research and the problem solutions. And that's all. And may I call Mr. Maligat to discuss the next part of our discussion.
So, thank you, Miss Manabag. So, sample and sampling technique. The respondents in the study are 20 TikTok consumers. The researchers use TikTok consumers to relate the participants into their studies and to get the information needed. The researchers confidently believe that the number of respondents will provide enough data. So, the researchers will use simple random sampling to determine the insights about the influence of TikTok influencers for promoting different products on consumers purchasing or using online shopping. Simple random sampling (SRS) is a probability sampling method where researchers randomly choose participants from a population. All population members have equal probability of being selected. This method tends to produce representative, unbiased samples. Frost 2022.
Thank you, Mr. Maligat. So, for research instruments, the researchers prepared the survey questionnaire that would be used to determine the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting product consumer purchasing towards online shopping. The respondents, consumers in TikTok, answered questions regarding their experience in buying products in TikTok by the recommendation of the influencers. The questionnaire includes a section for the demographic profile of the respondents and a dichotomous questions and a multiple choice questions as a type of question to be used. The data and information that has been gathered are useful to this study. So now, may I call on Miss Sangil to present the data gathering procedure.
Thank you for that, Ms. Marcelino. So now, let me further explain our data gathering procedure. So the researchers are assigned to pick their respondents for them to collect the data that they will be needed in their study. So the procedure showing on how the researchers will collect the data that are necessary for their study. Number one, choosing relevant and important ideas and questions. The researchers will create and formulate relevant questions for their study to cope with the good outcome of it. Steps on what instruments will be needed, and it includes the important decision making of what they have been chosen. Number two, preparations of the selected instruments on how the data will be obtained. The researchers will prepare their conducted surveys about on what their platform is. This step is the preparation of the letters for approval, and also they must be prioritizing the questionnaires properly. Number three, consulting advisor regarding of the questionnaires. The researchers must consult their research advisor first about their survey questionnaires until it has been proven. This step will help to ensure that the survey questionnaires are right and it have appropriate questions that are relevant to their study, which is effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting product on consumer purchasing towards online shopping. Number four, giving a request letter to the respondents to ask for permission to be part of the survey. The researchers will now go asking for permission to the respondents to be part of the survey in their free time. Number five, distribution of survey forms. Then, as the said date, the researchers will give the survey form to the respondents. The flat form to be used in this Google form distribution of its link is expected. The content of the survey is always safe to us and it will not be linked outside the study. And lastly, number six, after the distribution of the survey forms, they will now answer it and it will collect after they answer the form. In this step, the researchers also started analyzing and interpreting the data. And lastly, the last part of the chapter 3, which is the statistical tool that we use in our research. So the responses from the questionnaire that will be answered by the TikTok consumers were statistically analyzed with the data requirement of the study. Descriptive statistics such as percent is considered Corb 2013. To determine the data we will gather from the consumer, we are going to use the following statistical formulas. Number one, percentage according to Corb 2013. Percentage is calculated by taking the frequency in the category from divided by the total number of participants and multiplying by 100%, where P is the percentage, where F is the frequency, and N is the number of participants. So we use descriptive statistics so that we can describe, show, and summarize the basic features of a dataset found in our study. So the next slides are the data presented and summarized, which describes the data sample and its measurements. And it really helps us analyze and understand the data better.
So, thank you, Miss Sangel. Chapter 4, Interpretation of the Data. So, the following shows the result of a survey done in order to achieve accuracy and certainty of presentation and discussion. This section presents the interpretation of data collected on the effectiveness of TikTok influencer for promoting product on consumer purchasing towards online shopping following the SRS or simple random methodology. So the content of this chapter is the respondents gathered data through the survey method. So, figure 2 presents the total of 20 respondents that asked of their sex. In the survey conducted, it shows that 55% or 11 out of 20 respondents are female, 40% or 8 out of 20 respondents are male, while 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents prefer not to say his or her gender. So, figure 2.1 presents the total of 20 respondents that asked of their age. In the survey conducted, it shows that 90% or 18 out of 20 respondents are 18 to 20 years old, 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents is 21 to 23 years old, while 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents are 17 years old and below. So here in figure 2.2, we asked the 20 respondents if they use TikTok. So in the survey conducted, it shows that 100% or all of them, all of the 20 respondents uses TikTok. So here in our figure 2.3, we asked the 20 respondents if they buy on TikTok shops. So all of them or 100% or 20 out of 20 respondents says that they buys on TikTok shops. So here in figure 2.4, we ask our respondents how often they buy on TikTok shops. So in the survey conducted, it shows that 55% or 11 out of 20 respondents said sometimes, 25% or 5 out of 20 respondents said frequently, 15% or 3 out of 20 respondents said always, while 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents said barely. So here on Figure 2.5, we asked them how much money they spend on TikTok shops. So, in the survey conducted, it shows that 55% or 11 out of 20 respondents spends 101 pesos to 300 pesos. 25% or 5 out of 20 respondents spends 301 to 600 pesos. 15% or 3 out of 20 respondents spends 100 pesos and below, while 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents spends 1,501 and up. So here in figure 3 presents the total of 20 respondents that asked if the product they bought on TikTok Shop have the same quality as the influencer's review. So in the survey conducted, it shows that 70% or 14 out of 20 respondents said that the product they bought on TikTok Shop have the same quality as the influencer's review, while 30% or 6 out of 20 respondents said the product they bought on TikTok Shop does not have the same quality as the influencer's review. So here in figure 3.1, we asked them if the price they pay for the product is reasonable for the quality of the product. So in our survey conducted, 95% or 19 out of 20 respondents believe that the price they pay for the product is reasonable for the quality of the product, while the 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents said the price he pay or she pay for the product is not reasonable. So here in figure 3.2, we asked them if they are satisfied with the influencer's recommendation. In the survey conducted, it shows that 95% or 19 out of 20 respondents are satisfied on the influencer's recommendation, while 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents are not satisfied on the influencer's recommendation. So lastly, figure 3.3, we asked that 20 respondents if they will buy again on TikTok shops. So in our survey conducted, it shows that 95% or 19 out of 20 said that they will buy again on TikTok shops, while 5% or 1 out of 20 respondents said that they wouldn't buy again on TikTok shops. So now let's proceed to chapter 5. This chapter discusses summary of findings, conclusion, and recommendations. To give us the summary of findings of our study, let's call on Mr. Marcelino.
Thank you, Mr. Maligat. So for summary of findings, as pandemic arise globally, many jobs, businesses, and tradings are suddenly shut down. Due to lockdown, many people divert into online platforms. Social media hail in 2 years of the pandemic. This is where TikTok made. Most of the consumers in TikTok are teenagers who seek products for their pleasures. Based on the findings, many people rely on TikTok because they find it more convenient than other online shops. Due to its convenience, there are also high-quality products that are made by the locals. This study proved that TikTok together with the influencers really influence the consumers in buying products online. On the other hand, most of our respondents are really satisfied with the management of TikTok, and there are some respondents who aren't satisfied with TikTok. So now, may I call on Ms. Manobag to present the conclusion.
Thank you, Ms. Marcelino. So let's proceed to conclusions. The objective of this research was to conduct the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting product on consumer purchasing towards online shopping that will be able to have benefit to us. Based on the findings and insight, we conclude that most female consumer buy and influenced by TikTok influencers. Consumers are more likely to buy again because of the reasonable price and quality of the product. Finally, the results of our research survey questionnaire has been done analyzing with proven results that TikTok influencer and consumer buying decision have relationship, which prove that TikTok influencers are effective in consumer buying decisions. Moreover, our respondents will surely buy again because on their purchases experiences as it made them really satisfied. And may I call Miss Sangil to discuss the next part of our discussion.
Thank you for that, Miss Manobag. So now let me go further explain or briefly discuss our recommendations after we interpreted our data that we have gathered from our respondents. So as we have completed our studies, findings, and conclusions, we have made two recommendations that will surely help other people who are unsure about purchasing products in TikTok shops. So the following recommendations are solely made based on the data that we have collected and interpreted through the help of our respondents who put some of their time and effort answering our survey. So the following are our recommendations. Number one, we highly recommend that in buying products in online shops, specifically in TikTok app, please do consider TikTok influencers review as they can provide an honest feedbacks regarding their own experiences in the every product that they are purchasing. And also, we recommend as well that if you are going to purchase products online, do not hesitate to choose to buy in TikTok shops as it can fulfill your product satisfaction once you receive your order. In addition to that, you will surely help our local businesses by purchasing products that is being advertised in TikTok application. And that's all. Thank you.
So here ends our research presentation on the effectiveness of TikTok influencers for promoting products towards consumer purchasing on online shopping. So thank you for watching.